Hi, this is Pauline from the Tank Model channel with my latest update on the Sturmtiger assault mortar made from Tamiya in 1/48 scale, and as you can see, I've actually got the base coat down. Now, there was a little bit more done before I applied the base coat, and you might just be able to see some pre-shading underneath, and obviously the tracks look as if they've been painted in a different colour paint. But what I did is the base coat was actually covered the whole vehicle, everywhere, all the angles around here. You might just be able to see it all the way around in various. Every time there's a plate on an edge going across, round here as well, and in the front round that area, all along the edges, sharp edges of the vehicle, plus any panel lines that run down, like on the track guards, were given a coat of the Leo Model Air German panzer grey, which is a dark colour. I haven't got the colour for that one because it's just used as any dark colour, black or any dark grey is really good for doing that. So, but I actually sprayed the tracks over as well to give them a dark colour. So when I went in with my base coat, it would actually give it a. It would still show up, and technically some people would say just go over there with a bit of silver now, and this vehicle could be, I could have said, be done apart from the detail painting of the actual tools. But as you can see, I want to, as you know, I want to do the 3 camo scheme for the Sturmtiger. Now, I've got to be honest, I found a colour photographs where they actually look as if they're just as they are. You see this vehicle, so I could actually get away with it. I won't be putting any actual signage on it, the German signs or any numbers on the side of the vehicle, which some people do. Excuse me, because of the fact that every photograph I looked at, I can't see anything on there, so I just prefer to leave it bare. I think what it was, it rushed out the last minute. The chances of the Germans thinking this was an enemy vehicle would be very slim, so I think it was safe to say that's why they didn't put the actual Balkenkreuz on it. At the end of the day, though, I'm not going to do it myself because I still haven't seen any vehicle photographic evidence with it on. Museums, yes. Every time you go to a museum with a Sturmtiger in it, you can actually see they've got crosses on the back plate where the exhausts are. Got one on the front, in the middle below the gun, and on the sides. I think that's just to distinguish the fact that it is a German vehicle in the museum. But in the field, most of them didn't have it on either. So that's the way I'm going to go with this particular model. Right, so the base colour that I used for this, after I'd done the priming and then went on to the shadowing, pre-shading with the dark panzer grey Model Air colour, I actually did that. I actually went in with the base colour is Vallejo's 71025, which is this colour. I'll put it there, you might just be able to see that. That's the one, 025. And the actual rail colour is 7028. And I've also got the life colour set, and it's got the same colour in there, and things I couldn't find it. I decided to go with the Model Air because I've got it, so I used that, and I'm really pleased. What I did is I first went on, and you could actually see more of the black showing originally, but I decided to actually go in and do it. So if I just turn it slowly around, you'll see what I mean. You see all the pre-shade, you can just about see it. I can see it in the natural eye straight away. You can see pretty much quite a bit down the inside where the actual ball joint is for the mortar, but there you go, going round. You might be able to see it on the wheels. It looks darker on the picture here because I haven't got no light down. I don't know if I can get this light to go lower. I'll just see if I can go a bit lower. There you go. Comes a bit lower, and I'll move it up a little bit. Might help. If I go down a bit. Yeah, it might do a bit more brightness. There you go. You can see it anyway. I think you can see that quite nicely if I come down. It's just taking it off a bit. There's. That's about right. So you get a bit more shadows. I can actually see the actual dark in the centre of the hubs and on these wheels and a bit on the actual drive sprockets. And the tracks you can see is actually, that's the panzer grey colour. But it's not a bad colour for tracks actually. But obviously I've got a colour for that later on I'm going to be going in with. Anyway, so basically you can see the pre-shading all on these corners. Hopefully you can see just about in the video that it is there. It's very subtle now, but I like it, and I would be tempted to leave a vehicle like this. I'm around on the back of the engine deck now, and you can see a bit more around the side here, and you can see a little bit pre-shading, I think, on there. If I go to there, you can see a little bit. I did some around the centre of the door, the door, the actual loader's hatch, all round here around the edges, and around the bolts. You can actually see some of the pre-shading. I think you can. Yeah, I'm looking at the screen. I think I can see it there as well. So it's really come out really nice. And as I said, I could leave it like that now, but I'm not going to. All the way through, I think you can see the pre-shading again. There you go. Now the next colour I'm going to be using, there's two more colours. One should be in the post and be here tomorrow. That's the green, German green. The next colour I'm going to be using for the actual brown on this one is Armour Brown. It's called. It's model era colour again. 71. If I put it there. 71041, and that's got a rail number of 8017, and the life colour set is exactly the same. It's got 8017, and it's a very similar colour. So I'm going to be using the model there because that's what I've started to use. So that's the next colour to be used, and then that'll be followed closely, because the next time you see this tank, hopefully I've made a good job of the camouflage. I haven't done it for a long time. But the next colour I'm going to be using is, and I haven't got a colour because it's coming in the post, and that's the Vallejo model there, 71.092 medium green, and it's the rail number 6003, and on the actual set up there it is 6003 in the model in the actual life colour set as well. So they're the colours I'll be using, and I will be trying to. I was going to use the one on the magazine, but it looks very much like the ones on the actual box top of the Sturmtiger that's done by Tamiya, this vehicle. So in the model box, when you see the art, and they've got really brilliant pictures, and I don't want to move the box now because it's in the back, but they've got really brilliant top, two sides, and front and back actual colours of the actual vehicle, so you can actually follow that loosely and get it right. And I've looked at some photographs, and it's a very close representation of at least two vehicles I've seen where you can see the different shades of where they've been sprayed. As I said earlier on, this vehicle, I might make a small vignette for this, because basically I've got a nice bit of wood over there, but I might make a slightly bit longer one and have a little bit of rubble, because there's a lot of rubble in the background in the picture and on the box art. Just rubble round it rather than a building or anything, just to show it off a little bit in the sort of environment it would have been in. So if I just go around once more, you can see, appreciating a bit more on the front there. I think, yeah, you can definitely see it now. These are places where I've done it round here, along the front. I did it all around the edges, on the mud guards as well, a little bit around the side and under the bottom. And I think it's actually there. If I come around here, you'll see a bit more shading there. There you go. So I'm not going to go around with it again, but oh yeah, I will mention one thing. The crane, as you can see, is coming along nicely, and I sprayed it all in the same colour, obviously. But this is going to be a leatherish red, sort of a dark red leatherish colour, because it looks that way. And I think it is made of some sort of leather. It could be metal, but I'm presuming it would be a leatherish type material. And I'll be painting that colour, and then I'll be actually painting the cable sort of a shiny wire colour, because obviously it is a wire that they use for it, very strong wire, and it would have definitely been shiny, been coming up and down through the rollers. So I'll be using that sort of a shiny-ish look on, to giving a slightly shiny look to that. I've got to paint all the tools still, as you can see, but I'm going to wait till I've done the actual camouflage scheme first. There you go. And all the engine decks really nice. And to put the engine decks on, I forgot to mention that the other day, is I actually used white glue, which is the Rocket card glue, which is a white glue at the end of the day. And I actually laid it over the brush, made sure it's nice and thin, no lumps there at all, and then placed it in. And good thing about that is you can actually move the grills into position, and once they're there, do it. Now I could have gone round the edges with a bit of super glue on a very fine brush, just to give it a bit of extra strength. But to be honest, once you've got the paint on there, it's really well stuck down on there, and under paint it should be really good enough to hold it there all together. So that is the update of my Sturmtiger from Tamiya 1/48 scale, the assault mortar. And my next update will be following this one very shortly, because I'm just going to be filming it straight after this one, and that's on the Panther in 1/37 scale from Dragon. I've got a bit further, and after watching Steve Mottram's video, he said about a few problems he had at the rear end of the engine deck, and I think I found out what caused it, possibly, and because I've actually managed to get it to fit perfectly. So just one of those bits of luck you have, if you notice. And because I watched Steve's video and he said he got the problem, what's the first thing any modeler does when they get to that area and they know someone else has had an issue with it? You go straight there to see if you can see what the possibility of it was. So anyway, so that's the end of this update, and I shall hopefully be doing another one over the weekend with the colour schemes on. I'm going to go I'm going to get a bit of a hulk of a model and get my spray brush going, just to test test the camouflage, because I'm working on a smaller scale vehicle, test the camouflaging, painting again, and get up to spec on it. I've been watching Flory Models recently on his airbrushing videos, which are live. If you're a Flory member, so it's a shame other people can't see him, but I've been watching that, and I've learned something then, and I used some of what he said to do this, which is quite interesting. Diluting the paint down. It is true. At the end of the day, if you get the paint diluted correctly, it'll work lovely. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this, and I'll catch you in the next one, which hopefully we shall follow shortly. Thank you very much. Bye.